Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me on the 12 Days of STRETCHmas journey over on my Instagram. I hope you enjoyed. So my Christmas present, as promised, is I put all the stretches together in one big video that you can follow along with at any time that you would like. The tools that you will need: a stretch strap, a set of yoga blocks, and a foam roller. If you do need other modifications, you may need some kind of chair or bench or even the side of your bed in order to do a couple of these stretches, which I will remind you of as we're doing that. We are starting off with our rockers. So that is in our tabletop position on our hands and knees, making sure that our hands line up underneath our shoulders and our knees line up underneath our hips. We're taking those toes, those two big toes, and we're kissing them together. And then we're relaxing the tops of our feet down onto the bench. And all we're doing here is we're just doing some rockers. So we're gonna do 10 for today down in the center. So just rocking back and forth. That's 5. Good. From here, we're going to do 10 rockers on one side. So we're going to sit our weight into one of our hips and rock back on that side 10 times. Good, and then we're going to switch our weight into the other hip and rock back on that side 10 times. Got 2 more. Good, then you can also come back center. You can tuck those toes underneath and rock back and feel the stretch in the bottom of your feet a couple times. Do about 5. It's 4 and 5. Good. All right, from here, we're gonna sit back onto our legs. If you are unable to sit in this position, grab a chair that you can sit in to do these next stretches. But these next ones are the wrist stretches. So we're just gonna take that arm out. We're going to have the palm up and we're going to pull those fingers back into that stretch. We're just going to hold this stretch. And keep holding the stretch, but don't forget also that if you feel comfortable doing this, you can take both hands on the floor and you can pull back into that stretch and get the stretch in both of the wrists at the same time. Haven't switched wrists, go ahead and switch. So we're going to go and pull back that other hand just like this. If you're doing the stretches one at a time, of course. Good, good. Good. From here, we're going to do the tops of the wrist. So this is where we're going to straighten the arm out with our palm facing down. We're going to grab onto that wrist and we're going to pull it back until we feel a stretch in the top of the forearm. And we're going to switch arms, so straightening out that left arm, bending that left hand back and feeling that stretch. And of course, remember too, if you want, you can do both wrists at the same time. So this is where you're going to put the tops of your hands down on the ground and bend back here. But if you want to stretch each wrist individually, you can also do that. Good. And after that, you can do a couple wrist rolls. From here, we're going to do neck stretches. So we're going to be looking straight forward. We're going to take our right hand and reach it up over and grab our left ear. And then we're going to pull that right ear to the right shoulder. So right ear to the right shoulder. Then you can take your left hand and move it around behind your back. You can enhance that stretch there. And we're just going to hold this stretch. Remember too that when it comes to the neck stretches as well as the wrist stretches, those muscles are smaller than, say, muscles in your legs. So they are a little bit more sensitive to the stretch sensation. So make sure that you take the stretch to what is your comfort level. You do not need to push it to try to get a deeper stretch. You just want to stretch what feels good to you. Think about that breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. We're just trying to expand that balloon inside in all directions. Slowly come out of that stretch. You're going to take your arm forward, looking at that hand, reach up and over. So now we're looking at the bicep. And you're grabbing the back of your head and you're pulling that chin into the chest to smell that right armpit. So this stretch you'll feel down into the traps on that left side. Make sure that you sit up nice and tall as well. We don't want to round forward. Good, slowly coming out of that. We're now going to switch sides. So we're going to take that left hand, we're going to reach up and over and grab that right ear, pulling the left ear to the left shoulder. Right hand can go behind your back to help stabilize the shoulder. So this we're going to feel on the right side of the neck. Good, slowly coming out of that. And then we're taking that arm out on a diagonal, looking at the hand, reaching up and over. So we're looking at the bicep, pulling down, feeling the stretch now on the right side down into the trap. Same thing, don't round forward. Keep that back nice and straight as we pull into that stretch. Good, slowly coming up out of that. Good, last one we're going to do for our neck is the forward neck stretch. So we're going to feel it along the back of the neck here. When we're doing this, you're going to grab the back of the head and you're going to keep those elbows open. You want to make sure to think about those shoulder blades going back behind you and not rounding forward. So from here, we're tucking that chin into the chest. We're pushing those shoulder blades back and then letting the elbows drop forward. Also remember, if this kneeling position becomes too much, you can always do these seated in a chair. Just make sure that you are able to plant your feet on the floor. So you may have to scoot forward to the edge of the chair. Planting those feet into the ground will provide you a good base to make sure that you can keep sitting up nice and straight instead of sinking back into the chair. Good, and slowly coming out of that. Same thing as the wrist, we're just gonna kind of shake it out a little bit, looking side to side, tilting side to side, do a couple neck rolls. Good. Now we are moving on to our cat-cow. So we're gonna get back into that tabletop position, making sure that we have the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Our cat is the rounding position. So we're thinking of tucking our hips underneath and rounding our back. And we're pushing through those hands to think about our shoulder blades trying to touch the ceiling as we tuck our chin into our chest and we suck our belly button up to our spine. And now we're slowly going to move into cow. So remember, instead of thinking of trying to sink your stomach down to the ground and like you're trying to get your hips to touch your head, we're actually thinking about that string pulling from the top of the head and from the tailbone, and they're reaching out. So we're expanding and lengthening our body out. So that way we're not going to do too much decompression to the spine. And all we're going to do here is we're just going to move fluidly and slowly through those motions. So going up into cat and opening out into cow. See if you can match your breath with the movements as well. So I always like to exhale as I go into cat and inhale as I go into cow. Good, let's do one more. Good, awesome. From here, we're gonna stay in that tabletop position, and we're gonna take our left hand and we're gonna put it behind our head, opening that elbow. We don't wanna drop that elbow down to the ground just yet. So we're gonna open that elbow. Keeping that elbow open, we're gonna open up to the side as much as you can, and then you're gonna bring that elbow down to touch the other hand on the floor. Open up and down. I do about 5 of these. Same thing, you can match your breath, so breathe in here and breathe out here. One more. All right, on this last one, we're gonna reach up and stretch, 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 and then we're gonna thread the needle. So you're gonna take that hand and you're gonna thread it through your right hand and your right knee. And you're gonna think of letting that shoulder relax down onto the ground. And you can even use your right hand to push up and away from that left hand. So we can push and try to stack those shoulders on top of each other and get a deeper stretch. Hips are up in the air. Good, and we're gonna come back to our starting position. We're going to do another right hand. So right hand behind the head, keeping that elbow open, reaching up, and bringing that right elbow to the left hand. That's 3. Let's give it 2 more. You might notice that one side is tighter than the other, so my left side is actually tighter than my right. You can get a little bit further into that right side. Okay, open up and reach that right arm up to the ceiling. And then you're gonna thread the needle. So right arm is going through the left hand and the left knee. And then same thing with this left hand, you can push up and away, almost like you're trying to stack your shoulders on top of each other and get a little bit deeper of a stretch. And then we're slowly unwind, come back to that tabletop position. All right, so this is where you might need your yoga blocks for support, but we are going into our lunge and our quad stretch, all right? So you can put the yoga blocks out in front for you, just so that they're there to be stable. And you're gonna come up into this lunge position. Now remember, we wanna keep our body up straight. We don't want to lay it forward on our chest. And as you do this, you're just going to lunge forward, feeling the stretch in that back hip. Might feel a stretch down into the ankle area. And then we're thinking of that knee going forward to the wall in front of us and then coming back. So the way that you can use your yoga blocks for a little bit of support is just putting them right here, being able to hold on to something, and then coming back. Let's do 3 more. Remember too, another thing you can also do for support is have a chair by you, and that way you can hold on to the chair as your support. Let's do 1 more. Good, and on this next one, we're gonna hold that lunge. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do that quad stretch, okay? So from here, with the support of your blocks, you can always put 2 here for extra support. You're gonna take the opposite hand to leg, and you're gonna grab that back foot and pull the heel towards the glutes. You're just gonna hold that position here. You should feel this running down the front of that back leg in the quad muscle. Remember too, when we're doing this, we're not gonna lean forward because that's gonna release the pressure. We want to keep those shoulders up and that chest up nice and tall. If anything, you can think about pushing the hip forward, and that will enhance that stretch as your nervous system regulates to the stretch. Good, then we're gonna slowly lower that leg down, and we're gonna switch legs. So from here, bringing our left foot forward, we're getting into that beginning lunge position with the 2 legs bent. And then we're going to lunge forward and come back. Lunge forward and come back. Forward and back. Do it 2 more times. Forward and back. 1 more, forward and back. And now we're gonna go forward and we're gonna hold it. Same thing, you're gonna wanna put the blocks in between your legs on the other side. And then you're gonna take that opposite hand and grab that foot and pull into this stretch. Now, also, some notes when doing this stretch. You don't want to have the pressure directly on top of your knee like this. You want to think about leaning forward so you're actually hitting the bottom part or the insertion point of your quad. So you're not actually on your knee. You're not like this. You're forward, pushing those hips forward. That's why we wanted to do those beginning lunges so that we can warm up the hip flexors, and then you're pulling into that stretch here. So we're just gonna hold this stretch. If you're able to hold this stretch, continue holding it. As you're doing that, I'm going to demonstrate the lying stretch with the stretch strap in case you're not able to do that stretch. So this is when you're going to grab your stretch strap, and you're gonna grab the end loop. You're gonna lay down on your side, and you're gonna loop that foot through. And then you're going to pull the stretch strap up and over that same shoulder, and you're just gonna keep pulling it until you start feeling the stretch in the front of the quad here. And then you're just gonna relax and hold that stretch. Another great way to do this stretch is also standing. You would just have the wall on this side of your body, and then that way you can use the wall as support. And then you're just standing and you're pulling that leg to your glutes and feeling that stretch. Making sure that we're not opening up the knee like this or letting the knee come forward. We want to pull that knee back and kiss the knees together. You might also want to think about tucking the hips. So you're going to think about squeezing the glutes because that's going to make the hip come forward so you can feel the stretch a little bit more along the front of the leg. Good, and then switching sides. So you would just take that stretch strap off, swing it onto the other foot, and then up and over, and pulling here. Same thing, you're just gonna hold this stretch. And then when you're done, you'll relax. Take your foot out of the strap. Bring it over here. Next stretch we're going into is the piriformis stretch. So another great tool you can use for this stretch are your yoga blocks. You can also modify this by using the edge of a bed, a bench, or a chair, whatever you feel sturdy on and supported by. But this is the one where you are going to take your right leg and you want to make sure that the foot is out to the side instead of being by your knee, and that knee isn't pointing towards the wall in front of you or towards the front of your mat. You want to make sure that the shin is what's parallel with the front of the mat. And then once you're in this position, you're just going to relax down deep into the stretch as much as you can. Now, if you have to be up here to keep this leg straight, that is okay. We want to remember that we don't want to cheat any of our stretches in order to get into the stretch deeper, because that defeats the purpose, right? We want to make sure that we're performing these stretches correctly and meeting our body where it's at. So if you are in this stretch position and you cannot get all the way down onto the ground, like so, I will show on my left leg what a trick you can do. So you can take this left leg, you can get your leg into position. So remember, even if that leg isn't as flexible, we want to try to keep this shin as parallel with the front of the mat as we can. Then you're going to take this and you're actually going to sit your glute onto it like this. So then that way you have something that feels like is supporting your body so that you don't have to put all the weight on your hands. You can also use the other yoga block for those hands too, but you can still get into that stretch here. So we're still feeling that stretch into that glute. So all you're going to do is you're just going to hold these stretches. And other ways to enhance it is that you can walk the yoga block or your hands over towards that front knee. And you can enhance that stretch a little bit more. Just once again, make sure you're not compensating or cheating by moving this front leg into a position it shouldn't be in. Good, we'll slowly come out of that stretch. And then we'll go to the other side, make sure we get a deep stretch there. Another trick here too that you want to think about are your hip bones both pointed down to the ceiling. So instead of having your hips open to the side, what I want you to think about is taking that back leg hip and pressing it down, and the front leg hip and you're pulling it back. So that way we're straightening those hips out and pressing deeper into that stretch. Because same thing here, if we open up that hip, we release the tension on that stretch. Good, and then we'll slowly come out of that stretch wherever you're at, whether it's on the floor or on a bench or on a bed or on a chair. Good, great job. Okay, from here, we are going into our side stretch. So you can put those yoga blocks away and then you can grab your stretch strap. So here, you're going to get into a seated figure 4 position. So that is where one leg is straight, the other leg is bent, and we're making a figure 4. Now, you can take that stretch strap, you're gonna fold it in half, you're gonna take that middle loop and put it around your straight leg foot. And then remember, we're gonna start by turning both of our shoulders and our hips towards the leg to help warm up our body into this side lateral stretch, all right? So from here, we're gonna reach down towards that foot, get a little bit of a stretch here. You'll feel it on the hamstring, the calf, maybe into the low back as well. And then from here, when we're in this position now already, you're gonna take the same hand as the straight leg and grab onto both sides of the stretch strap. And you're gonna open up your chest. You're gonna take that free arm and reach up and over towards that straight leg. So we're thinking of reaching instead of curving over and then closing up the shoulders. We wanna keep those shoulders open and reach into that stretch like we're reaching past our toes. And that way you can really feel a good stretch here on the side. Something else to think about too is this knee. If this knee comes up, like this, you may not feel that stretch as much. So you also want to think actively about squeezing the glutes to press that knee down towards the ground. Good, and then we're slowly come out. We're gonna switch sides. So just hold on to that middle loop, put it around your other foot, straighten that leg out, bend the opposite leg, so we're making that figure four. Same thing, we want to start off by turning our hips and our shoulders towards that leg, reaching towards it first. Feel a little stretch in the hamstring and the calf. And then same arm as leg is gonna grab onto both sides of the stretch strap. We're gonna open up that chest, reach that arm up and over, and then also thinking about this knee pressing down into the bench, or into the floor, sorry, so that you can feel that stretch along the side here. Keep those shoulders open. And then if you want to, you can also just grab onto your foot if you're able to reach. Good, and we'll slowly come out of that. All right, from here, we are going down into our calf and our hamstring stretch. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna pair them up together. We're gonna do a calf stretch and then a hamstring stretch on one leg, and then switch to the calf and hamstring stretch on the other leg. So all you have to do here is keep that middle loop of your stretch strap and loop it around one of your feet. Straighten that leg out. You're gonna lay back and you can bend the opposite leg so that foot is flat on the floor, and you're gonna lift the stretch strap leg as much as you can. Then what you're gonna think about doing is as you're pulling those toes towards you, you're gonna press that leg away and you're gonna feel that calf stretch right back here. All right, so we're just gonna hold that stretch. If you need to, you can scoot that strap down a little bit more towards your toes carefully. Press down even more so you feel that stretch into the calf. Good, from here, keep that leg straight, but now we're gonna kind of scoot that strap down into the middle of the foot, and now we're going to think about pulling the whole leg towards us as we go into a close grip row with our arms. So we don't want to pull our arms up or our hands up to our face. We want to think about pulling our elbows down to the mat on our side. And then if you need to enhance that stretch, you can just go up on the stretch strap more and pull that leg towards you as you're bringing your elbows down to the side of the bench. Another trick you can do is also straighten out that opposite leg. That's also going to enhance the stretch for you. But keep in mind, we want to think about keeping this knee nice and straight. We don't want to bend the knee and cheat the stretch. We want to keep the knee straight and meet our body where it's at. So if that means that we're here, that's okay. If that means that we're here, that's also good. Good, and then we're gonna bend that leg and we're gonna slowly straighten out the working leg. And we can even use the stretch strap to sit up, and then you're just going to switch feet. Now remember, we're gonna start off with that calf stretch first, so bend the opposite leg, lay down, and then pull the toes towards you as you push the leg away from you. Good, from here, just scoot the stretch strap down to the middle of the foot a little bit, keep that knee straight, come up on the stretch strap more if needed, and then pull into that close grip row position with your arms as you pull that leg towards you. Same thing, remember, we want to keep that knee nice and straight so we feel the stretch back here. If you need to enhance it more and pull more towards you, you can also straighten out that bottom leg. Good, then we're gonna bend that leg again. We're gonna lower our working leg and then use the stretch strap to come up. Good. All right, just 2 more stretches to go. And then you'll have your full routine. So this is when we're going to use our handy dandy foam roller. We're gonna put it behind our back and we're going to lean back on it until you can kind of like hook your shoulder blades on the back side of the foam roller. You'll be able to feel it because if your shoulder blades are on top of it, you won't really be able to get your arms around it well. So you'll just come back until you feel those shoulder blades on top of it here. Hands are gonna go behind your head. And then you're gonna keep those elbows open as you open up your chest, looking up towards the ceiling, arching over that foam roller as much as you can handle. And then we're going to make this an active stretch by curling it all into the center, into your belly button. And open up. And close it up. Open. And close. Good, 2 more times, open. And close. 1 more time, open. And close. All right, on this next open, we're gonna open, but we're gonna hold it. Just hold it as open as you can, and then see if you can relax your head down, and then open your arms out to the side. You can also straighten those legs out. Good, and to get out of the stretch, remember we want to start by bending the knees first, so we're getting out of the stretch in the opposite way that we got into it. So then we're gonna put our hands behind our head. We're gonna use our hands to help lift up our head and then come up into that crunch until we're back in this position. And then you can slowly sit up and remove the foam roller. And then from here, we're gonna lay back down for our last stretch. I'm just gonna move a couple things out of the way. So for this stretch, remember this is the spinal rotation stretch. So we're gonna start by just relaxing on the floor. And on an exhale out, we're gonna pull those knees up into our chest. You're gonna take your right hand to grab your left knee, and you're going to pull your knees over to the right. And you're gonna take that left arm and extend it out to the side and look at that hand. Already, I feel a good stretch into the glutes here and into my spinal rotation, but I can also straighten out, without kicking over the tree, straighten out that right leg so that I can pull the left knee deeper into the stretch. Good, then slowly bring that right knee back up to the left knee. Bring your knees back center. And you're gonna take your left hand, grabbing the right knee and pulling your knees over to the left. Extend your right arm out to the right side, looking at that hand. And then if you want, you can straighten out that left leg so you can pull that right knee deeper. Just remember your breath, breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, nice and slow. Good. Bring your left knee back up to meet your right. Bring your knees back up. Give yourself a little hug. And then slowly lower your legs down to the mat. Extend them out. Relax your arms out to the side, palms up. And at your own pace, just take a few deep breaths in and out. And when you're ready, bend your knees. Slowly come up. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this follow along stretch. Please feel free to share with any friends or family that you feel might benefit from this stretch. And I hope to see you again soon in my next video. Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. Bye guys.